If you've been playing video games for any length of time, you have probably had the pleasure of trying one of the many Bomberman releases. This series started out on Japanese computers all the way back in 1983, before making the jump to consoles in 1985. It was developed by Hudson Soft, who would begin updating it regularly in 1990. Once that started, we ended up with portable versions, arcade editions, and a slew of console-specific releases. Not even the great polygon craze of the 5th generation could slow the series down, and we'd see a number of entries for the Saturn, PlayStation, and even the Nintendo 64. In fact, Bomberman would see almost yearly releases in one form or another, all the way up until about 2010. That was an incredible run for a franchise that was often described as little more than a puzzle action title. While Sega's platforms only saw a few of these releases, what was there was quite memorable. Mega Bomberman was a fantastic adaptation of the PC Engine game Bomberman 94 and included 4-player support via the 4-way team player. Just 2 years later, in July of 1996, Hudson Soft was back, this time on the Sega Saturn with Bomberman SS. At first, Hudson had no intention of localizing it for Western markets themselves. It took nearly a year before Sega decided to publish it in North America and Europe under the Saturn Bomberman label. It's often cited as being one of the best party games ever, and in this episode, we are gonna give it a go and see if it's still worth playing. I hope you guys enjoy my review of Saturn Bomberman for your Sega Saturn. The story of this one has the evil monster Crater escaping his prison in Crystal Tower. It will take all of Bomberman's skill to find and secure the missing crystals needed to subdue the beast and return him to confinement. Saturn Bomberman has changed little from its 16-bit counterparts in regards to gameplay. The core of the experience is still blowing up enemies and obstacles in your quest to find the stage exit. In multiplayer, the goal is to blow up your friends and family before they blow up you. In the Saturn game here, there are a few different game modes for you to explore. Normal is your story mode, and where you must destroy Zarfs to advance to the next area. Pay attention to the upper left portion of the screen because that's your Zarf counter, and how many exist on each stage to be destroyed. Aside from the Zarf, there are enemies, blocks, and power-ups to find. The heart icon at the top left shows the number of lives you have, and there's a timer up there you must abide. The stages are themed around time travel, so you'll be seeing the likes of the Wild West, Dino World, and even the future. The narrative is played out via cartoon-like cinematics. Normal mode can be played in single player, or you can bring a friend for 2-player co-op. You can also save your journey to the Saturn's memory so you can play later. The battle game is Saturn Bomberman's free-for-all or team-based multiplayer experience. Here, up to 10 players can battle it out to see who can stay alive the longest across numerous stage types. There's a jungle, desert, space colony, soccer stadium, and a few more to do your blasting on. There are a bevy of options in battle game to consider. You can select your stage, whether to play free-for-all or team-based matchups, the number of players, which can include bots, and the specific rules for the match. These rules can be adjusted and include the level of the computer AI and the choice of a few different settings like the devil item that causes random problems for the other players, or a no-draw feature that guarantees a winner. The battle game also includes the choice of a number of characters to use. Aside from White and Black Bomberman, you also get other Hudson heroes like Bonk, Master Higgins, Millen, and Kabuki, 10 in total. Should you want to go all out and use that 10-player option, the game switches to a wide view that makes the map huge and the players much smaller to compensate. The normal view supports up to 8 players. The master game is basically another story mode, but it's meant to be kind of a single-player stage rush, where you battle across 20 floors, face additional enemies, and you get graded on your performance. Saturn Bomberman also features dinosaurs you can find and ride. These dinos act as not just additional firepower in the field, but also additional hit points should you take damage in the normal mode. Instead of being killed, your pet dino eats the damage and you keep on going. Dinos can be leveled up to 3 times. The more score you get, the quicker they level in the normal game, and they grow the more eggs you find in the battle game. There are 5 different dinosaurs in total, and each one has a different ability. For example, one can stun enemies, one can jump, and one can kick bombs. You can dismount the dinos at any time with the LNR triggers. As you've come to expect from a Bomberman title, there are also plenty of power-ups here. The flame increases the size of your blast. The bomb allows you to plant more than one bomb at a time. The kick allows you to kick bombs away. The glove allows you to pick up bombs and toss them. The bomb pass allows you to walk through bombs. The block pass allows you to walk through blocks unhindered. All that is just the start, because there are a ton more that can speed you up, give you invincibility, extra hit points, extra score, triggers, and many others. There are also what the game calls illnesses. Run into a skull or an infected player and you'll get whatever they've got. A list of afflictions that can slow you down, speed you out of control, stop you from setting bombs, and even make it so you set bombs uncontrollably. If some unfortunate soul hits a devil icon, every player on the screen is given an illness for a truly chaotic experience. Finally, Saturn Bomberman supported the NetLink peripheral for online multiplayer. Up to 4 players could use this feature, which was unfortunately missing entirely from the PAL editions. The visuals of this game are detailed, colorful, and well animated. It very much takes after the 16-bit version in terms of art and design, but you get much more happening on the screen at any given time. The stage transitions are often funny, and there's some impressive transparency effects in the water and the explosions. By the time you graduate to the multiplayer mode and you start to run with a bunch of your friends or bots, the screen becomes quite hectic with bombs, explosions, enemies, and the power-ups they all have. Stages are also themed and have things happening all around them, some of which can be interacted with for extra score. Every so often you'll face a boss that fills the screen, again, quite similar to the 16-bit editions, but here they are far better animated. The wide mode that is used for the 10-player option is, in a word, visually unimpressive. It cuts most of the outstanding detail and turns all the player sprites tiny. It isn't ugly by any means, but compared to the normal stages, it certainly lacks the same punch. Overall, you can't really fault anything here on any major level, however. It takes the design seen in the previous generation and spruces up the detail and animations where it counts. Given the way this game is set up, outside of a switch to a fully 3-dimensional engine, I'm not sure what else could have been done to make it any better. It's got a charm about it that was prevalent in the series during that time, and most of you will certainly appreciate it. The energy and variety in the soundtrack is commendable and goes well with the gameplay. The sound effects have everything blowing up quite well, the voices are clear, and the intro and option jingles are pleasant. Here are a few samples of the music so you can hear it for yourselves. There's a lot to love about Saturn Bomberman. The general consensus is that it's a great multiplayer and party game, and I agree with that. By supporting up to 10 players, things can be quite fun, and the ability to add in AI bots means that any sized group can enjoy this mode. The amount of options and power-ups also keep the multiplayer matches fresh, exciting, and always challenging. Skill certainly plays a role, but anyone that understands the mechanics has a fighting chance thanks to the randomized nature of some of the items. Get nailed with an impromptu illness, and it can be a quick game over. But for all the press this gets for its multiplayer features, I assert its story mode is just as appealing. Not only can it be played with someone else in co-op, but the stages are quite well designed. Some are large enough to scroll and many are maze-like in their layout. It's also challenging with late-game enemies that will keep you on your toes. The story doesn't take itself seriously and the cinematics are brilliantly done. Wrap all that up with the plethora of power-up items, and the story mode can eat up a lot of your time as well. There isn't much here to criticize, but there are a few things you need to know. In order to get the much vaunted 10-player mode going with real-life friends, you need not one, but two 6-player adapters for your Saturn. Back in the day, those suckers were $50 a pop, so that was a considerable investment to get that level of multiplayer up and running. Modern prices tend to be more for these things. There was a Japanese-only Bomberman-themed release of that called the SBOM Multitap, as well as a Bomberman-themed gamepad decked out with turbo switches called the SBOM JOYCARD. Both these were available separately and in a special party pack release of the game. Finally, I find the wide mode ultimately takes away from the experience. The only available stage you play on is weaker in terms of design and visual appeal, and the smallness of the sprites is off-putting. You can play the regular stages with up to 8 players, and it's right there that I think this game does its best work. There's a lot going on to be sure, but it keeps the match pacing frantic and the match always exciting. If you have a group of family and friends willing to play games with you, Saturn Bomberman holds up well today and is easy enough to get into, even for youngsters. Whether you're a longtime fan of the series or a complete stranger to it, Saturn Bomberman packs so much into what it offers, it's well worth a look. The legacy of this release has always been among the top tier Saturn games. Review scores back then were overwhelmingly positive, so much so that magazines like Electronic Gaming Monthly named it the best game for the platform in its 1998 Video Game Buyer's Guide. Even when a publication went hard on it, it still scored better than you probably would have guessed. The modern viewpoint often puts it among the top games as well, and I can't argue against that. This package has a lot to offer whether you are playing alone or you have a bunch of folks around you to blow up. For those of you that like to deep dive retro options, this game can still be played via the NetLink modem using tunneling software. You have to jump through a few hoops to get it working, but those that enjoy it seem to think highly of it. For you lovers of physical media, owning a North American release of this will set you back $300 or more if you want it complete. The PAL edition is a tad cheaper, but still up there well above retail. The much cheaper Japanese alternative can be had for as little as $30. No matter which way you choose to play this one, I highly recommend you give both the single player and multiplayer modes equal time to impress you. There's a lot to discover and enjoy in both of them. After you have done so, you can move on to the lesser known Saturn Bomberman Fight, a 1997 Japanese exclusive that turned the playfield isometric and used brand new polygon visuals. It isn't rated as high as the first game, but I consider it a hidden gem that is far too often overlooked. It even has a fan-made English translation now. The final game in the series to hit Saturn was 1998's Bomberman Wars. This one is the outlier and is actually a text-heavy strategy RPG. With any luck, we will see a fan translation of it someday. As far as old Saturn Bomberman here goes, you'll have a hard time finding a better puzzle party game on this platform, or any other for that matter. I'm Sega X. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time.